Yeah. I'm gonna pull this back a little bit.
Hi. Hi, Brigitte. Ready? Hello, everyone. What is happening? I think we lost Leslie.
Leslie's sound was going in and out. I think she's trying to figure out the problem.
Okay. I don't have the ball to do the get the class started. We're live on YouTube, by the way.
Hey, YouTube.
I should have got my hair better. Okay, who's gonna lead the warm up?
Oh my gosh.
It's only 3 minutes in. She'll come back. Huh? Yeah, I'm not in front of my computer, so all I have is to stare at my iPad. I don't have enough real estate to look at other things. Oh, I can look at my phone.
I'm like squeezing in my last few drips of work.
Yeah, I was about to file an IT ticket, and I was like, I don't have enough time.
Never ends, you guys.
That's weird that she started a meeting and it's live on YouTube, but she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
It did that the other week. That's what it did. And she dropped. So yeah, it's her connection to the meeting.
There we go.
Hi again.
I learned something about the internet.
If you close this door all the way that's behind me, it kills the internet.
There you go, the metal door.
But I actually think that it's still live streaming because I'm trying to.
It does. It is.
Is it still? Oh, great. Well, I hope you've been very entertaining in our.
We've been effervescent.
Fabulous. Okay, I'm gonna get you guys set up on the table, and always something, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah. All right.
Very good.
Hooray. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're going to go around and welcome each other with a round of applause for our arrival and also for the arrival of the internet and getting our friends here from online. So let's actually start with our buddies online. So I see Brigitte. Woo! Bravo, bravo. Heather. Yay. Woo! And Christina. Yay. And let's introduce ourselves. Kirsten. Lyanda. Woo! Yep. Yay! Yay! Charlie. Yay, Charlie! Nina and Lolita both here. Fabulous. Just so no one worries about Nina, she's going to leave a little early to catch the ferry. Nothing bad happened. Everything's cool. So if she doesn't say goodbye to you later, she wasn't mad at you. We are going to have a special evening tonight. This is week 8, and we are doing what I'm calling a study hall tonight. So we're going to go back from the very beginning, and we're going to review all of the material that we have covered. We're going to go over the name of the moves. We're going to go over the cue. We'll go over the body of the move and the finish for it and the counts. So this is a great opportunity to write these things down. In our group online, I already gave you a complete list actually of everything that we're going to talk about tonight. So it is already written down for you. I could drop it into the chat box as well if that works out for us. I'll do it at break. Yeah, just so I don't mess anything up right this second. We also, for people that are here in person, we have some gifts today. Amy brought these beautiful journals that she is giving away. If anybody would like a new journal, you could start your dance book in it. Does anybody need some paper this evening or a gift? Great. Charlie, come on up and grab one. And sorry, pals online. I did bring extra pens and paper, but you know. Right. Yeah, cool. I like everything about it. So we got 2 more polka dot notebooks up here if anybody decides at break they want to take a peek and see if it's for them. And I'm going to put this up and out of the way. So we're just going to start with a little movement, some breath, get ourselves into our bodies, and then we'll go. Just start from the top, yeah? Can you guys hear me okay with the mask on? Great, I love it. I have some cool news. Last week I had no news about what our plans were for the fall, and now I have some information to share with you. I'm going to show you guys on the computer, and just here we can just look. Over here across the street, you see where the string of lights are? There's an overhang. So we have been graciously included in sharing that space with them when it starts to rain. So if we're not back inside by the time the weather turns on us here in the driveway, we're just going across the street. So we will continue to have multi-platform class on Monday night. We'll continue to live stream. We will continue to have you guys on Zoom, and we will be in person. So if we try it and it's terrible, we'll make a new plan, yeah, as the weather moves into the colder seasons. And they have changed some rules recently about how many people can be inside together. So with masks and with a good distance between people, there's a chance that our group could also be inside. So yeah, we'll always have the class live stream. So if you don't want to come inside, you don't have to. Yeah, you can always join us on the computer. So that's super cool news. So for Monday, I haven't chosen the date that we're going to get this going, but in September, I will start a new level 1 for this class. So if after tonight's review, you're like, whoa, man, I really want to just get deep and work this beginning thing again, which I completely always think is a great idea. That class will be the first one, so it'll be 6:30 to 7:30, and then we'll do 7:30 to 8:30, a second level. So to go to the second level, I'd like you to be able to play the triples and do the 4 fast patterns at the same time, yeah? So if that's not you yet, that just means more practicing, right? Nothing bad. So if you want to take both classes, that's super cool. I'm going to be there for both. It's going to be really fun. So that will be in the fall. So I'll get the website updated when I decide what day we're doing that, and we'll just keep on keeping on. Wednesday is still a bit of business, so they may not be open again for us. So just keep on, thinking about stuff, and yeah, so that's exciting. Yeah, that there's some clarity on some things. There will be class on Monday and Wednesday, even if one of the classes, even if Wednesday is just online for now, and then we'll figure it out as we go. So yeah, so I'm gonna hit the groovy tunes. We're gonna do some breaths. We're gonna do some moving the bod, and then we're gonna get into our review. There's my yoga mat for you. Boom. Feet together. Do, 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 do. So this evening, we are going to bypass the exercise portion where we do leg lifts and crunches and these things because we have so much to discuss. Yeah. If at the end you're like, wow, Leslie, I really wish we had just done a little bit more plank and just a few more crunches, we could double back. Who knows? We'll see how we do. Yeah. So let's begin. I'm going to take off some of these millions of layers for the sun. Gonna be groovy. I'm gonna get over here in the shade. I hope you guys on the computer can still see me. All right. In a stroke of irony, I get the very last piece of sun left in this driveway. I'm like, cool. So I want to talk for a second about the basic posture and do a couple exercises that have to do with the hands and the wrists. Yeah? So let's just go ahead for now and pull the shoulders behind us from the elbow and let the hands come down below them. Yes, pretty. And then I want you to think all the time, my elbows are up, but my hands face backwards. And they're down. Down more. Yep. So pull them up overhead and settle the shoulder blades down. Yep. Now keeping the shoulder in the same place, I want you to glue your legs together. Keep your chest up. Your belly has to stay firm to support the hips. Yeah? We're going to take this hand and I'm going to drop elbow up, hand down. Keep that circle going. Elbow is up, hands back. Yeah? Keep it reaching all the way from just the shoulder. Yes. And keep them really plugged. Yep. And dropping. So elbow is higher than the wrist. Yes. And pull. Yes. Oh, I just fell in love. It was so beautiful. Yes. And push the hip and just drop that hand. Yep. Keep that going. And bring it up. Yes. And again, sweep. And up. Yes. Go ahead and pull the arms down. Roll the shoulders back and down. So the basic posture for all of ATS all the time is all of the movement of the entire arm comes from being in this locked position, and usually it's being led by the elbow. So the shoulder is really strong and plugged in, but it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. So for me right now, I want you to look like a scarecrow. So pull your elbows really up and your hands are really back. Yeah, right here. And then you're just gonna send those hands out a little tiny bit and pop them up on the shelf. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Things are happening for us. Yeah, and pull them up overhead. Yes. Yep. And diving around. Keeping it going. Yeah, and the longer we work on this shape, just the more beautiful it becomes.
Sorry.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry.
We're so happy to share with you. Yeah, and hand up. Yes, good. Rising. So even though this was the very first thing we learned on the very first day, I hope that it means something different to you today. Yeah, and pushing both hands around. Yeah, and this is how we get kind of a lot of that flamenco feeling in this dance. It's from this very proud and tight body line and position. So the feet really belong together and everything is zipped and the chest is really up. And if you had a small shelf behind you, it's like the shoulder blades are almost up and on that shelf, right? We're so lifted, right? And so now you can see how proud the chest is and how you've got your shoulder blades locked in here. Put your hands down so they're below the creases of the hips with your thumbs tucked. Yeah, and then sweep. Oh, that was so great. You guys look awesome. I know you can't see yourself. You all look beautiful. Yes. Oh, it's such a huge difference. Yeah, so it's wonderful. So that basic position is really, really important. And it's literally, if you were taking notes right now, which you're totally welcome to, then you would just write down basic posture, right? Basic position. And we're doing feet together. You want to have the lower abs engaged. Our chest is up. Now, if you're a person that just wants to listen and look, this is being recorded. So you could make notes later from this recording if you wanted notes, or you could review what you're seeing. So you know what kind of learner you are. If you don't want to stop and write, that's cool. You know, you do you. So the chest is up and the shoulder blades are set back on that shelf. And what is higher? What's always the highest thing that you're trying to think about lifting with? Elbow, right? So it's always elbow up and hand always faces where? Back. Yeah. So at the hips, you can really see where they're back. And as we rise, they're still pointing back. And then as you pull up to the top, they present forward, but you are still in that same line. Yeah. So nothing really has changed. Yeah. So I hope that you're starting to feel the power and the form. A little bit about the history of this form. I told you guys at the very beginning, but maybe it was like ba-ding, ba-ding. So this was developed by the teacher of Carolina Noricchio originally, who was part of a troupe called the American Classic Belly Dancing Troupe in San Francisco in the 70s. And she's a fabulous sculptor and jewelry maker. She's still alive. And she modeled this costume, this look, on the folkloric work of Jamila Salampour, which was a fusion of all different kinds of influences, basically based on National Geographic and records and films of the day. So it's not from one particular place or one particular group of people. This is an American tribal, and the tribal and American tribal really was meant just to mean a group of people working together, right? Like in kind of an anthropological, to give the feeling of the group, because American tribal style belly dance is a group dance. It isn't meant to be done alone. It's meant to be led by a leader using cues. And so the name of it, the American tribal style, is just meant to give you the feeling that you're part of a community in this dance. So over time, as we have moved forward as a community, there has been a transition on this name, and now it's being called more commonly Fat Chance Belly Dance Style, which is the name of the troupe that developed it. So you'll see often notated FCBD, which means Fat Chance Belly Dance, yes? Which is about how likely you are to get a lap dance from Carolina Noricchio, who is the director. Yes, so when people would say to her, oh, you're a belly dancer, you're gonna be like, you know, kitty, 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 that's when they get the Fat Chance Belly Dance, yes? Because this is meant to be a proud, respectful group dance based on art and artistic shape, and yeah. So it is not a true anthropological dance. It doesn't come from a specific place or people. It was a fusion form. And so some people are switching out of using the word tribal because they feel it is disrespectful towards tribal people, such as Native Americans, to use this in that context. So I have many thoughts about that. We don't have to talk about them right now because that would take an hour and a half. But I think that then there's also a similar discussion among groups of people that have things like in the title, such as Oriental medicine. Perhaps the term Oriental is no longer considered respectful, but the term Oriental medicine, because it is applied to a particular science and study and discipline line, is still in use in a respectful way. So you'll hear me use both. And now there's a whole art form called tribal fusion, which the name will become more complex as the word American tribal style is phased out from this original form, because all of the American tribal fusion or international tribal fusion groups are slowly transitioning to the term transnational fusion to be more inclusive and more respectful. So that's just a little FYI, yeah? So doing our part to make our world a more beautiful and just and kind place, we'll also try our best to be included in this nomenclature. So it can be confusing, yeah? So I just wanted to share some of that with you, so now you know. Yeah, and we can have a longer talk at a later date about the history and the costuming and the different groups that influence this dance. And I'm actually very interested in the classical folk dances of Rajasthan, which is one of its influences, the tribal dances of the Buazi and the people of the Upper Nile, the influence from Spain, of Moorish influence of flamenco, and also barefoot flamenco and Zambra and Mora. So there's a really rich history that this dance, like, it just kind of gives us a chance to tug at the edge of all of these really beautiful, deep world traditions. So I think it's very exciting. I'm not even going to ask you if you have questions about that, because you should have like 100 million questions about that, to be honest. And I think that that's a great talk for a rainy day. Yeah. So maybe we'll have like a whole rainy day winter workshop, and we'll look at pictures, and I'll show you guys video clips, because I have lots to share on this subject and lots of old dance footage. And there's a lot to know, to learn about the American lineage on the West Coast, in particular belly dancing. So very exciting. And now us, here we are. So I think it's great. We're gonna have so many people to dance with. And all we did was do the basic posture. What? That's incredible. So basic posture that we just did also includes what is called arm variations. Yes, and so that is keeping the arms and the body, right? Like having one hand going. It can be at the hip and pulling up, right, down and up. We do these arm variations often in our workouts. It still is a big important part of what is called the tribal fusion vocabulary, and we will see if that will become a trend international vocabulary over time. Oh, it's the European friends. Cool. You will also see this where it sweeps at the waist and comes out and up in the same style. That's totally a thing that you'll see, right? We'll come at the waist and we'll turn at this height and then come back up. Yeah. So that can go either direction, coming in or coming out. And then we get to the first layer of this. Yeah. So that all makes sense to everybody, I hope. And the alternating arms are important because we use them in slow moves, and then we also use them in the fast moves because the alternating arms are paired with the fast movements in a couple of cases, like choo-choo and Arabic. So they're very helpful to us. They're very beautiful, and they're great for improv. Yeah. Cool. So alternating arms, basic posture, and then we're going to add our first bod move, which is what they're calling the toxium, which is the up and in hip figure 8. For this, we're just going to pick a foot up off the ground. Yeah, I get a little balance here. And then I'd like you to step that foot down and pull that up and in. And hold that there. And pick up the other foot for me. Try and hold. And then step down and pull up and in. And we're just going to do it a few more times. Foot up. Stepping down, pulling up and in. So you can see very clearly, right, why it's called an up 8 or an inward figure 8. And this is the toxium shape. It doesn't need to be large. One of the things that's distinctive about American tribal style is it is more important that we're all stylized exactly the same way than that the movement go like whip-beep, whip-beep, which is what we might do with it in other styles of cabaret and different forms. Yeah, so again, just picking up that foot. Just drop that foot down, get that little tiny drop and lift. And again, hold and drop and lift. Beautiful. Yeah, so toxium. Inward figure 8. Yeah. Cool. Love it. And now it is time for a hand flurry-out. So we are going to actually, if you have something, you gals at home, if you have something to pick up and turn over, or if you want to do shots, that's your choice. Yeah, little shot glass, little whatever glass. I'm going to use this little gong here just for my demonstration. So you want to be holding or imaginary holding, right, this thing, and we've got that here in our hand, right? And so here we are. So we're going to turn this goblet over. Oh, it's about
Turned it.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Oh, it's all good. Come right here. So turn it over, and then you got to get your hand out of the way. Yep, and you want to pick it up. So your hand's in the same shape. Turn it over, and hand comes up and around out of the way. Pick it up. Turn it over. Hands coming out of the way. Yeah? Pretty. Ooh, girls on camera got stuff. Good work. Okay, other hand. Yeah? So go ahead and you want to squeeze, thumb and middle finger, hold your thing, or your imaginary thing. I'm just putting my hand here because I need to like set this on something to turn it over. If I had a table, I would like, I would like put it on there and like swing my wrist out of the way, but it's gonna, that'd be groovy if I could levitate it. That's not a skill set. Okay, so turning it over, so wrist is up and in to the inside, and then we have to open that hand and move it around the item. That's it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So we're picking it up. We're turning it over. And we're getting our hand out of the way. Yep. Picking it up. Turning it over. Hand out of the way. Love it. So we'll get rid of our actual items. And we're going to take the hand. Right. And so with no fingers in any shape except like a flag, which is our pataka. So just for a wrist stretch. We're just going to turn and we're going to come around with the wrist and the hand is flat. So pulling in with the wrist and coming out with a flat hand. So maybe this will help simplify for you a little bit the plan. You still have to keep your elbows up. Yeah, so elbow is still king over the wrist. So that's what's going to keep the shape of the hand flurry. So we're going to do one hand so you can let the other arm rest because by now your deltoid is like, oh my God, Leslie, why? I'm so glad we didn't do any push-ups today. Yes? So one hand up, but the elbow is higher. Right? And I'm really holding on my thumb and middle finger. Yeah? And I have seen some dancers, they almost do it like you know, like that rock, like heavy metal rock where it's 2 fingers in the middle. So that doesn't hurt my feelings either. If you want to have 2 fingers coming for crushing in the center, so you can either do like metal hands or you can do it with 1 in the middle. I'm used to doing 1 because this is more common for me for cabaret. So that's a muscle memory. So we're going to turn that over. So turn that wrist up and in, and then around. And honestly, I think this is so beautiful. We can just do it all day. Are your feet all the way together? Are your abs zipped up? Did you pick up your chest and put your shoulders, right? Like up on the thing. So if you want to be doing any practice in this form, you got to be doing the whole thing all the time. Yeah, you just can't let it go. Yeah, I love it. Yes, groovy. Let's drop that hand. We'll pick up the other one. Let's just show you how to do it. Nice. And pick it up. And put the other one right in its pocket down here. Yep, and turn it over and hand out of the way. Yeah, we're gonna do 5 of these today. And I remember when I very first started palling around with people that were doing tribal, and they were telling me that they were practicing drilling. And I was like, what is drilling? Why would we be doing the same move over and over and over? That seems pretty wild. And it's because we want to keep cementing and reinforcing these forms. Yeah, it's because it's a whole body form and there's only one way to recreate it in this style. So keep your elbow up, up, up. Yeah, love it. Yep, turning it over. I know I only said we do 5 and now here we are doing 1 million, but I'm watching your elbows and it's looking so good. Cool, so let's drop the hands down. We're gonna roll the shoulders and roll the hands. So we've got our basic position, our alternating arms. We just worked on our hand flarea and our tuxing with the hips. So if you'd like to make any points in your notes, any things that you find poignant, or if you want to make some drawings about the direction. And for tribal, 99% of the time, the hand is coming into the middle. There's actually even parts, there's a movement where the cue is that the hand has turned the other way. Yeah? So really, if you are unclear which way to go, it's usually towards the center. And I'm not sure why, but it would seem that the left hand by itself is great. The 2 hands together are great. The only time you use the right hand alone is if you're doing it as part of a pattern, like an alternating arm pattern, where you're cueing something. I don't see a lot of this with the single arm and then like a move, because this is the side that you're leading from. So your followers are here. So you're showing them by keeping your elbow up and your hand up, right? So one of our things that we did was we paired these 2 movements so that we are pouring the hand floreo into the toxium. And so I think about this, that the thumb is the right hip and the left hip is the little finger. Yeah, and that's how I can show you from the back how fast I'm going. Because I'm going right hip, left hip, right hip. Does that make sense? And hopefully everyone behind can see this cue. Yeah. Cool. So fun, right? Groovy. So if you decide in the fall to come back to level 1 class, we would be doing things like drilling these shapes and working on these forms and holding posture. And I think it'd be so fun, yeah, to get just more deep and more connected. Because to get anything off the ground with this style, we had to know like this much stuff, right, to be able to do anything. And now I feel like we can back up a little bit and start to work in more detail. Because you can't really do any improv until you need 3 or 4 moves, right, to be able to string them together. So, groovy. All right, you guys, we're almost all the way through everything we did in the very first class. So the last move from the first class, and if you wanted to, these are all online. I have them all also on my YouTube channel. I made a group for them. I've been putting them all on the same playlist on the Leslie Rosen YouTube channel. So if you were to misplace them in the Facebook group, or you decide you're not doing Facebook because reasons, then they're on YouTube and they're listed in there. Yeah, and if you need me to send you the link every week, I'll do it. I want you to have it. So, cool. So the last thing we did the first week was called a reverse turn. And so that was our first turning move that we worked on. So the reverse turn, and you can just put this on all of your notes for slow moves, they're all arrhythmic, which means they don't go to a specific count. So any slow move, it goes whatever speed your leader is going. How free, right? So I find that really wonderful. And so that gives you a chance to make these movements go better with the music. Yeah, so, You guys ready for some reverse turn? Do this thing. So we have our hands overhead. The cue, which is to let people know what I'm going to do, is I'm dropping the hand down this way and my foot is stepping behind. I get down here to the bottom, I do the hand floreo, and now I'm going to turn around. The hands stay in place as I turn. When I arrive, this is my finish. I'm going to pull the hands either one up, one down. That's choice number one. Or let's do this move again. Hands coming down, foot stepping behind. I do a little point, and we're going around. It is also possible, I see quite a bit, to pull this shape as a finish. So that's with one hand out and one hand up. Yeah? Cool. So if you care to put those in your notes, right, it is a rhythmic move. The cue is the hand coming down the front of the body with the foot going behind, and then the little hand says we're going, and you got to keep going the whole way. Unless you're doing it to turn and face into a partner because you want to switch lead spots. Right? Cool. Class number 1. We learned so much stuff that first day, right? Like, how could we have really learned all that in 45 minutes? And it's something that we'll continue to work on like over and over and over. So I'm going to move on to class number 2. Once I see people have put their pencils down, we're still working here in person. So feel free, if you girls online have questions, you're welcome to turn your sound on and ask them. I think that these things are just a matter of doing them over and over. And the more we do them, the more beautiful they become, and the more interesting and the more ingrained they are. So, how exciting. Cool. So I'm going to move on to the body wave. Yeah, so the body wave. Big plans, big dreams. We are in our basic posture, and I'm turning sideways now. And we're going to feet together, right? The shoulders are back and down. And what I'm going to do in my body wave is I'm going to lift up with the chest, and then I'm going to put my shoulders on that shelf, and I'm coming down through the spine. I don't include the hips in the whirl. So oftentimes in American cabaret style, when we do this kind of wave, we would do this kind of body roll, right? But we're pushing, we're rolling, and the hips are going, woo, 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 woo. Nope. So we're locked. Yeah. It starts, with the chest, with the lift, strike the shoulders, and then we lean back. It's really important not to dump into your low back. Yeah, you know you, so don't go further back than you feel comfortable. There is a variation on body wave. It's just called deep body wave. And you'll see Carolina Enriquio and Rachel Bryce doing this movement where the body looks almost folded in half backwards. It's just a variation on body wave. Yeah, so that's not something that I think we are ready to practice right now. We'll start with conditioning drills for it, and then we'll move towards it in the future. Yeah, but just in case you were like, oh, I wonder what that thing's called. That's what it's called. It's got the same name as the same move. Yeah, this is the deep version of it, which is the back version of it. So when we are doing this body wave, we can also show that we are doing it with the hand. And so as we turn the hand in the floreo, we lift through the chest. And as we roll through the body, we push the hand back around. Right, and look like this. Lift. And roll. Lift. And roll. It can also have 2 hands. The body wave is the foundation for the aerobic, but the aerobic has a count and it has foot posturing and a football that goes with it. Yeah. Cool. And then we have arm undulations, which I'm super excited to do with you guys. Arm undulations are what they're calling their snake arms, but they are a very limited range of motion to the snake arm, and they also have got kind of an interesting lift and drop in the elbow. So we're going to pause for a moment on writing when people are ready, and we're going to do a little drill to practice how to get into the right shape for the American tribal style or South Chance Bellydance style. So again, we're just going to put this elbow up here, and we're going to lift that elbow high, higher than you think you really want to. You should feel it tug here, and then you're going to drop it onto the shelf. That's it. And then lift it up just from the elbow and drop that on the shelf. Elbow up and shelf. And other side. So elbows way up and drop on the shelf. Wow, you're really dazzling with it. Yes. last one. Yep. And drop. So these alternating arms are what they're calling a snake arm. They don't come below the shoulder line. The partners can't see them from the back when they're low, so they just don't do it low. You can be here at shoulder height, and you can be all the way to up over head. So it's in this range of motion, this snake arm, alternating snake arm down. And the way that it works here, right, is a lift of the elbow and then a roll of the hand, right? Lift through the elbow. And I can take them up higher, and as we get higher, you can see that it gets out of kind of like that tricky shoulder position as you throw the hands up and up and up towards the middle, but it's still the same thing. So it's that elbow-led roll and release from the elbow. Yeah? So it's just in this kind of motion. So I find these very challenging. My shoulders are extremely tight. So we also could pair this with the tuck seam. The elbow lift should go with the hip lift. So when we're coming up and in, that elbow is also up and in. Up and in. So if I were doing both, my partners would know where I am, because here now I'm saying I'm lifting my left hip. I'm lifting my right hip. And we can take this up high and it would still be meaningful. You can see that the right hand is pushing as the right hip is rising. Same thing. And for now, don't worry about what they call the reverse tuck seam, which is what in cabaret we call the Maya. It's just not even on the agenda yet. We're just going to keep on working that inward H shape. Yep. Cool. Yep. Notes for yourself, questions. And that's class number 2. We're going through all the slow moves first. Yeah, big plans. I'm going to have a sip of water if anybody else wants some. Apparently this is the talking exercise day. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Yeah, I feel like it's nice. It's nice just to stop and take stock a little bit. Otherwise, it feels like it's a moving train. Yeah. So we're on to class number 4, and we learned actually like a bunch of stuff that week. Yeah. So we did camel and torso twist. No, week number 3. I lied. Yeah. Nah. All right, sweet. So right now, camel is our only sideways move. It has no relationship to the cabaret camel. So we have to kind of just take that out of our brain. So what happens with this movement is it's that side reach. So I never see anybody actually cueing with the lift of the foot, but in theory, you do have a little lift of the foot at first, and then this is where I usually catch the cue, right? We've got this hand pressed down very high, and that means we're going to go from looking over here, hand down, to looking over to the left. The hand comes out to about hip height. We get to the side lean. Yep, and then we're going to pull it back to the center, and come right again. So again, up, side, and center. And that's the camel. You don't do it on the other side of the body. You only go out to the left. So, yay, move, but yeah. So that's why there are so many strong variations of American tribal style or so much tribal fusion style, is all you have to do to be non-compliant in this style is to do this cue on the other side and lean the other way. So then you're out of bounds and you're off to another thing. Yeah. So torso twist. Yeah, a personal favorite of mine is up next. If you need another moment to write about camel, I'm happy to wait for you. Yeah, I'm happy to do camel again. Here on the right side, I'm going to kick the foot up a little bit in front. I'm going to raise the wrist a little bit here, and then I'm pressing up onto the balls of both feet on my side, and I'm kind of looking off a little bit this way. And then as I change, and I lean into my right leg, taking this hand down through the hip, I'm looking over here, and then I'm going to drag everything down. You're very welcome. So that is camel. I have all of my notes from when I took General Skills with Carolina Enriquio in 2009. And they're a little bit like, because I had them all folded up inside my notebook, but I'd be happy to take a picture for you guys so you can see all of the skills you're going to learn eventually. It will not be soon. Do you know what I mean? Like it's interesting actually how much you already know, which is quite a bit. So exciting. Huh? We're going to do our torso twist next, which is 3 reaches with the arms. Cool. So again, I'm in basic posture. My elbows on the shelf, and I'm going to lean. I'm going to twist. This is the torso twisting part, right? So I'm going to take the left side first, over. I'm going to pull back and put my upper body on that shelf, really lean back, like as if I'm going to do body weight, but I don't. And then I'm going over to the right, snake arm kind of buddy again, and then I pull it back to the middle. And so what happens with the torso is it goes off to the left, back around, off to the right, into the middle. Yeah, so that's one torso twist. So here, right, you see it from the front, it's like twisting, and my head is staying in line with the body twist. And so that kind of makes it look like I'm doing a bunch of other stuff because I'm just staying straight, head locked in at the spine as the torso is going boop, 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 center. Yep. Cool. So let's do, I'm going to do like 3 of them so you'll have them on the video. And I'm going to change the view on the video so that my speaker view is a little bit bigger for this. Groovy. You can adjust on your own computer. Okay, sweet. Hey, also, I brought a sweet hip scarf. Hold on. I'm going to put it on. Hopefully this won't blend in with the door too much. I made this cool belt out of a pair of earrings and a dollar store belt. I think it was really pretty. Any questions about any of that? No, it's a lot. But we have been working on it for 2 months and you've been seeing them a bunch. So I hope that this is clarifying. Okay. Here we are. And I'm going to go over, center, second snake, third snake, right? Third snake to the left, back to the middle, out to the right, snake to the left, right, reach, center, reach, third one gets me back. So I almost feel that the chest is making a heart shape, right? It's like we reach out for the corner of the heart, we're back at the little point at the back, we reach up and we touch this corner of the heart, and then we kind of drop into the middle. So it's like the body made this like whoop whoop, whoop whoop. Yeah. Cool. I have big dreams. We have 2 more moves. What? Yeah, big plans. So we're gonna do propeller turn and wraparound turn, and then level change, and that's it, buddies. Yeah, and then we'll do a little improv with all these pals, and we'll take a break. Yeah. So propeller turn. There are a couple different turns that go this direction, but I chose this for us as our first one because I think it's really pretty. Yeah. So the cue for it is that the right foot is in front, and you take the hands out here to the side. You can do as many floreos as you want. Don't make it a million, or we'll be here forever if you're the leader, unless you're just trying to waste some time. Because you can finger along. You have your hands up over the head. Move this leg to the front. This right hand has got to go. And then it's got to go. And then this left hand's got to go. And then it's and the right hand's got to go. And that we lift. We're going to bring this hand down. The right hand as we turn. Yep. And when we get around, same way out as before. Hands either switch in this direction, or when the hands switch, they're going to go whoop. Yeah. So again, 1, 2, 3, whoop, around, and change. So the propeller, right, is that, And this is your chance to put your foot in front and cross the other way. Yeah? So reverse turn has got the foot behind, and propeller turn has the foot in front. I'm just going to do it a couple of times while the people here finish taking notes. So if you want to watch, you're welcome to watch. If you want to follow along, if you're at home and you finished your notes. Really fun. Great. So a couple different things can happen at the end. So when you finish the propeller turn, right, because you wind up here, and then you turn around. So either your hands switch, or go to here. Now, if you did, let's say you switch, there's nothing to say you can't just pull your hand back up to the center. You know what I mean? Like you can mix and match all these different things together, but that's kind of where you're going. And usually, if you had pulled your hand out this way, what that would mean is that you're getting ready to do a body wave, which is angled to the side. Yeah. So, and the more experience you have with how these movements fit together, the more you just come to expect. Do you know what I mean? Like what will come next because of the way the person set it up. And it's like, it's a finite, right? It's like, it's such a sweet little finite, yeah, right? So it just winds up looking awesome. I think it looks awesome. Yes. So, wraparound turn. So wraparound turn was our most recent addition to the family. It is the most complicated of all the turns that we've worked on so far. It's got 3 parts to it. So you know we're going into the wraparound turn. The leg is going to be the same as the propeller turn, right? It's got that almost third position situation going on in front. So the hands, right up here. I'm going to take the hand, the right hand's in front. The left hand's going to come slightly behind the hip or to the hip. If you imagine if you were holding a giant skirt, and you took your giant skirt and you went whoop, yeah, and you want to have as much space in between your body as another person because you're creating like that flamenco tension on this turn. So we're out here and we're going to go whoop, and that's piece 1. And as I came in, my wrists went whoop, yeah. So now I'm here. I'm going to turn around halfway, and as I turn, I'm going to push my arms open, and I'm going to take the hands and finish that choreo the other way. Yeah, so I'm finishing it up. Then I'm going to have to put weight in my left hip. My hands are up. I still have this hip jutted out. I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't care which hand you put in front on the cross here, but what we're going to do is, you can think about it like turn and a half. Yep, we're coming around, and as we're coming around, you wind up back here again, about half turn, and we finish hands up, or we finish hands up. It's like everything else in the slow-mos. Yeah. So pretty, right? And so fun. Yeah. Cool. I know your brains are probably like, okay, so I'm gonna put on a little group of music unless you have questions or you're still writing. I see gals online look like they're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, we're good here? Cool. All right, so I'm gonna put on a little music and we're just gonna do everything. So last week we added a level change, and the level change was for use with a group. And so since I'm doing this myself, I just want to say the cue for coming down is that you go up on your toes. Right, so you go up on both toes. And then you could use, or for now we're just using either tuck-in, or we're going to use body wave. And usually if you're using body wave, you're lifting the chest and rolling through the body. It can be easier in body wave to have one foot in front and staggered with the other. This is last week's lesson. I feel that this is not a big departure from what we have been doing in the past. And it's just important to remember that the depth that you sink is individual for each person. There's no standard place you have to go to. So just rule of thumb is person in the front is the lowest. So if you've got a leader who can get really super low, that's totally fine. You're welcome to be higher. It doesn't matter. The people behind behind can be at different heights. Cool. But you're never lower than the person in front. Groovy. Okay. Big plans, big dreams. Let's do some music. What? 3 minutes of music and then take a break? Love it. Okay. I don't want to rush you, Charlie. Do you need a sec? Okay. You're welcome to keep on writing while we practice if it's more helpful to you. The world is yours. I love this song so much. This is going to be so fun. Oh, I got to get this turned back on. Hold on. This is all right. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. Yeah. I'm going to stay here and answer questions for peeps online that didn't get to ask any if you want. And if you just want to chat, sweet. Hey, gal.
I just have a comment that when you said to keep your hands facing back, that finally like clicked in my mind, the arm position. Like finally I got that you're holding the same arm position all the way up. Thank you.
You know, it's yeah, Tammy also asked me a question too. Transnational fusion is the term for what they're calling tribal fusion now. Yeah. So like Rachel Bryce's, I don't know if she will transition her style, like what she calls her style, to transnational fusion, but that's what a lot of people are going to. Like ITS is what it also used to be called, international tribal style. That's what they were calling it because it didn't fall under the American tribal style umbrella because they were deviating and working on the other side and doing other things. Yeah, and going off on their own route, which I think is great. There's lots of great. I used to work with, in the tribal style, there was a troupe in Portland, which was called Gypsy Caravan. They had their own studio, and I took some classes. They basically were doing ATS, but also doing the left. So, you know, and then they added a little bit to the vocab, but it was very similar. And the woman, Paulette Reese, that was in charge of that was, I think probably still is. I'm not sure like where they are. I don't think they have a physical space anymore. So she was a Fat Chance Bellydance member herself. And then there are lots of studios all over America called Fat Chance Bellydance Sister Studios, which are running on the same, almost like a Zumba studio. So they run in the same format. But Transnational Fusion would be something that's a deviation from Fat Chance Bellydance style. That's current. And I think too, like what Ava was saying about it, like you can hear the same piece of information like many times and it will mean something different to you when you're ready to hear it, you know, because like the information is always that the arm is not changing. But how can that be true, right? Until you finally put together how that can be true. So yeah, I think we also have to build a lot of muscle and muscle memory in the lats and this kind of like chole area in the back through like support, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some water. Yeah. Do any of you guys have any other questions?
I have a comment. I was just thinking tonight how this style takes from all kinds of different traditions, but it kind of also takes from ballet with that whole rigid, these are where your arms can go. It's different arms, but it's the same idea.
She was very informed by classical sculpture, the woman that made the form. So Carolina Enriquio, like you'll hear her say that she didn't think she was creating a new form. This is what she'd learned from her own teacher. So, and her teacher was a student of Jamila Salimpour, who's Suheila's mother, and she's the one who had Balanat, which is the folkloric troupe that did the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, which is apparently where all of the excitement begins in the 60s and 70s. So, yeah. Yes. I do know her name. I don't know why it's escaping me right now. Her daughter's name is Larissa. I've talked about her with you guys before. She's my friend on Facebook. She's alive and well. And she was like a fine artist. You know, like she went to school for painting and sculpture, and she sells jewelry still. You could buy a piece of her jewelry. She has a shop in the San Francisco Opera building. And you'll see photographs of her. They do like these family photos on Rachel Bryce's style lineage, where it will be, I'm gonna like look it up on my phone. It's ridiculous. I can't believe I can't remember her name right this second. Does anyone else know her name? Carolina Enriquio's teacher? I should like know it already. I do know it already. I'm gonna find it. But you'll see pictures of Carolina Enriquio, this other woman, and Rachel Bryce.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Unrelated to dancing, sort of. Does Elrose Designs still exist?
That's a great question.
Because their website is gone.
I had tried to order a piece from them for Georgetown, and they never responded to my order email, which is like the first time in years that I've ever not heard anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Her name is Masha Archer. And yeah, so it's like Jamila Salimpour, Masha Archer, Carolina Enriquio, you know. So those are the pals, the San Francisco fam. Right. I don't know that Elrose. I hope that that's not true. Maybe she's having some technical problems. I know it's she usually sells in Mendocino because her daughter is there. Shoshana, she's at the, you know, she's from the Redlands, California Redlands. Can you get out of the way so you can do some trash magic?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna run to the ladies' room and then we're gonna get this party started again. Yeah. The second half isn't gonna be as long, I think, because It has all of the fast moves in it, but there's 5.
Yeah.
So cool.
And they're fast.
And they're fast. You know, that's why it's going to be so quick when we review them. It's going to be really quick. If anybody wants to talk with the gals, you're welcome to. I'm going to run to the ladies' room and then we'll get started again. Oh, and what a divine temperature change. Thank you. If anybody wants a notebook, don't be shy.
Hi, Ava. Hi, Christina. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
You know.
Want to laugh at my notes? I try to make little people.
That's
Oh no,
exactly.
you got to.
That's what my dance notes always look like when I'm choreographing, Heather.
Yeah.
And like a circle or a straight line. Yeah.
Totally.
And sometimes, like, if I don't want to describe the foot pattern or something, I'll draw a squiggly line that represents the movement of your foot as you do it with a little dot where it hits.
Ooh, nice. Tammy, have you been out of the house at all?
Oh yeah, we go.
Okay, good.
We take the dog for walks every day, just around the neighborhood, or you know, we try to go off times. I've
Good.
been to the grocery store twice. About once a month, I go to the drugstore. And we've had picnics in my parents' backyard. They'll set
Nice.
up tables, and then my brother's family, my parents, and us will be in their backyard, and our dogs can frolic and we talk. So yeah, that's it.
Was thinking about you.
Oh, thanks. We're in, you know, sometimes Doug and Zoe want to be even more careful than I do. So we're very careful.
Want to say hi? Yeah, I gotta go put my little ponies on for these little ponies.
Oh,
A magical water song movie. Good night.
Yeah, it's cooling off. Things are happening for us. All right.
okay. What's the most exciting thing you've done out of the house?
Welcome back. We're gonna start our fast moves. Yeah? So we're gonna start with just doing a review of the 4 foot patterns of the fast moves. So we have got, of course, our 4 big families. We have Egyptian, Arabic, Tutu, and shimmy step. Yeah? So there are lots and lots of variations inside these families, but these are the 4 foot patterns we need to know. So I'm gonna show them to you with the count. I'm gonna put my little backwash fish here. So let's start with Egyptian. Egyptian has a 4 count. And get going. 1, 2, 3. So now we were a bit slower. Fall, flat, fall, flat. And as we have gotten more accomplished at it, I hope that you have seen over time that it starts to take on a look of a continuous twist. The continuous twist is a byproduct of being better at it. It is not an intentional move. So you will see like very experienced dancers, and there you will see a lot of motion in this. It's just because they are very practiced. Yeah, it's not a different move. It's not a twisting move. So it's going. And you can see the momentum. It doesn't work too hard with the foot. That's so like there's no squeezing or doing any kind of jarring movement. So it can be kind of very womanly. And you should see that things are kind of continuing. Yeah. Groovy. So 4 counts, Egyptian. Yeah. always right first. Yeah? So I hope that for you feels like duh, right? We know that. We've been doing that all along. Yeah, so those are the 4 foot patterns. And now I'm gonna lay on top of the foot patterns from the first class the rest of the body moves. Yes? Egyptian? Yes, Charlie? Oh, okay. I thought you were like. No problem. So hands are up. So what's happening is that your elbow is pulling back and the hip is going forward. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And really it becomes smaller as you get used to doing it. You have to stay flat. You have to stay flat to the front because when you start to do Egyptian half turn, and we're just going to go through the whole Egyptian family as we know it right now, the cue for it is that you turn your upper body with that pull of the elbow. So here we are, right? You can stay here as long as you want, going forward. And when your leader gives you a half, boop, boop, you always turn on 3 to face the back. Yep. And then it's 1, 2, turn 3, and 4. Yep. To break that movement, you have to go to something else. Until the person that's leading changes the move, you continue to do half turns. Don't cue it again after you've started. That means something else. Don't worry about what. So it's why in this room it's important not to overdo because all of a sudden someone will be doing a full turn. Right. So does that all make sense in relationship to Egyptian? The counting, the cueing, the move.
I would like to, Leslie, I'd like to watch you do the turn one and do more than one. And I just want to watch what your shoulders are doing through the whole thing.
If anybody feels like coming along for the ride, help yourself. I'm going to change myself to the speaker view. I'm here so it will record with me as the big picture. Thank you. Sweet. Okay. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. I gotta get out of here. I'm not sure. Cool. Yeah. So the cool thing about ATS is that it's consistent. You know, like they always turn on 3. So as we start to do more and more complicated patterns and other things that are linked in these fast sections, 3 is the turning number. So yeah. I can't think of even one exception. They always turn on 3. Because the way that the system is set up is you start on the right on 1.
Yeah.
So like not everything goes to the same count clearly. And like Choo Choo obviously is only on the right and is only 1. So what a sweetheart deal, right? You're always on the 1. You're always on the right. Cool. So that makes sense, I think? Cool. The Arabic is the body wave, but with this foot pattern underneath it. Yeah? So it's the lift and the bounce. So the hands can be up overhead. They can do other stuff too. This has got a lot of arm. This is where the arm variations come in, but for now, we're just gonna put hands overhead. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna turn your sound off, Ava, because it's popping you into the big pick. Boink. There you go. Okay. So without going anywhere, right? Just like 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's lift to the front, roll to the back, lift to the front, roll to the back. Yeah. So 1, 2, and then don't forget that the hips don't do anything. Otherwise, it'll throw you off the count because it's too much to do and how much time you have. Yeah. So it's really it's front, back, back. And I'm really thinking. Some people like to think chest, lift, drop, and other people like to think chest, back, yeah? So hips are doing literally nothing. They are rocking because your feet are moving. You don't have to do anything to them. The more you do with your lower body, the more it's going to throw your count off. Yeah? It's just up, back, up, back. It looks like it's doing stuff because you're shifting the weight into that foot. It's an optical illusion. Right? That the body is going, right? It's not. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. And we haven't done any additions to this yet. We will in the future. There's lots of cute variations on this. We worked a little bit in the cabaret class in the winter last year on Arabic half turn, and there's some Arabic hip twist. There's a half turn, full turn, there's a bunch of stuff. Each one of these 4-foot patterns is a whole family of movements, and there's a lot of stuff standing behind each of them. So we just have to be really clear about these 4 parts, which is why we're not going to budge on any of this. So like we're clear on it, yeah? Because really, it's all there is to know about it. Yeah, the rest is just variation. So shimmy step is up, unless people have questions on Arabic. Yeah, cool. And we have 2 shimmy steps that we've worked on because we're so good at it. Yeah. So the first one is just the basic shimmy step, which is on the balls of the feet. It can be that the right foot is slightly in front of the left, or they can be a little bit side to side. People won't see because of the size of the skirt you're wearing, whether you're a little in front or just a touch in front, or if you're just more parallel. That's up to you. And so like they have this little thing that they do, and I'm just going to do it on a flat foot, where they say, like, you know, it's like in all of the Fat Chance belly dance literature, where they just say it's a dance where the swing of a woman's hips is so beautiful that they just made a whole dance around it, right? And it's just like you're just walking, swing, 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 swing. So it just gets that lift drop, lift drop, lift drop, lift drop. So it's just that nice bounce off the floor, and that literally is all there is to it. And I feel like actually the more you try to put a ton of energy into it, just go ahead and start here, right? Up. Step, boing, step, boing, bounce, 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 bounce. If you're a person that needs to hear it, up, down, up, up, down, up, 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 right? Push, 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 push. So this is the shimmy step, ball to feet, and this is the Pilates on the flat foot. You still got to keep your elbows up above your shoulder strap. Right? Yeah. So if you haven't got it yet, it's time to go for a shimmy walk, right? So time to practice. Does all that make sense to all people? Yeah. Super cool. Let's do a practice set where we're just going to do those things without finger symbols. Yeah. I'm going to put some music on for us. And then finger symbols. Yeah. And the world is ours. Bum, 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 bum. I had dreams where potentially we also we're going to review our drum and talk about the different formations. And I think it's too much to do today. So we're going to finish with doing this. We're going to add the finger symbols after. And then next week, we'll talk about the chorus, the leader, first and second follower, the drum patterns we've been playing, you know, all that stuff. So there's still so much to discuss, yes? And we'll have awesome practice sessions because we have had such a great review. Okay, Will. Okay. I'm going to do just a couple minutes of this. This is a 7.5-minute practice song, so don't be sad when we don't finish with the music, okay? If you're at home and you've got your sound turned off and you can already play the triples at the same time, go ahead and practice now. It will be a good extra practice for you. And why not? I'm excited about us. We're looking strong. Things are happening. I hope you're feeling like you're being remade in the form of a classical group sculpture. Yeah? I know, it's really such beautiful posture, such elegant styling. And the costumes are so cool. If you guys haven't started collecting stuff for your costumes, oh my God, it goes on forever. And you can wear everything with everything. It's not like a cabaret costume where everything costs a fortune and you can only wear it with some stuff. Like everything goes with everything. It's so fun. And the jewelry, which is my favorite part, just goes on forever and ever and ever. I have like a dragon hoard of tribal jewelry. So beautiful. So potentially, maybe we should start wearing some of our fabulous things to class. Yes? Yeah. So I see Kathy is already dressed like a beautiful flower. I'm actually going to show you all Kathy right now because she looks so great. And the sun on her. Oh, gorgeous. Right? Look at the fabulous long skirt. She's got flowers in her hair. Looking so great. Okay, pals. So just again, there is a universe of finger symbols. Please don't close your mind to the possibility in the future that you will play other patterns and other styles at other speeds. Yes, even in this style, they do have 3 other patterns that are common, and they can also change the tempo of playing. But this is the beginning, and this is most of what they play. So oftentimes, just to set your mind at ease, if you were like, oh no, nobody told me we're gonna have to play other patterns eventually. Most of the time, you'll see the really complicated patterns being done by the chorus. So they're playing symbols like musicians. Do you know what I mean? Like supporting as a supporter in the chorus. So don't panic. Yeah. So let's just practice playing our triple, our longa, our gallop, and the count on it is just and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and it just goes on and on and on. Yeah. Cool. So we're going to start with just the finger symbols. We're going to say it first, then we're going to play it, then we're going to add it to the dancing. There was a lot of triumph here. Yes, I heard it. Yeah, it sounded really, really good. So I think you guys sound great. Let's stretch our arms for a second, and then we're going to dance to a real song. We're going to go from slow to fast. We're going to play finger symbols. We're going to do it all. Yeah? Groovy. So let's just take our arm across, give a little pull. Ah. Big inhale, exhale, and twist on the exhale. And back to the center. And push those hands out. Turn them. Woo, draw it across. I forgot to give you guys the cues for starting Arabic and choo-choo. So I got excited to dance. Yeah, the Arabic is that plunge. The plunge can come from overhead or from the heart. To start the Arabic with the hands. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Choo-choo is just that sweep, right, of the one hand out and then getting into position for it. And then the shimmies, you just turn flat and you get your hands up into position and get going. Yep. And you know when you're changing from shimmy step to gwazi because the elbows will go big and the hands kind of come in. Yeah. Cool. Y'all ready for adventure? Let's do a thing. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left in class. This is a 4-minute song. So you know how I love that. Rudy. Groovy, babies. Let's take those cymbals off. Let those fingers breathe. Pull yourself feet together. Hips underneath you. And just give you a nice light knee shimmy. Yeah, a little cabaret shimmy. Friend, you feel so good. Yeah. Nice. Right. Hands up. Hands down. Oh. Roll that shimmy from the hips up into the belly. Take it from the belly up into our shoulders, up into the head, right out our mouth. Nicely done by all of us. Yes? Bravo, bravo. More fun next time. Yeah? I'll be in touch with more details about our plans as they unfold. Yeah. What, honey? In September, I think. Yeah. Is it coming? Because they told me it was the second Saturday of the month and I didn't see any advertising for it. Because the second Saturday would have been the 8th, which was last weekend, and I didn't see any notes for it. I think it's too soon for me to hustle on that because I didn't think it was happening. So let's do September, yeah? I love September. Cool. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Bye, friends. Feel free to turn your sound on if you want to say farewell. I got you up here. I'll put you on speaker view. Bye, Brigitte.
Bye.
Hi guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh.
Have a
Yeah,
good
I know.
week.
I know, so cute, right? Under the golden eggs. Brink. Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Maybe we'll see some of you for workout Wednesday. We're only going to do the live feed for another 3 weeks or something. Oh, Brigitte, I'm sorry about that creepy dude that wanted to have the private talk with you. Wow, that was a little extra. Free internet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We'll come up with another plan. Bye, buddies. We'll come up with another plan for the fall. I'll keep in touch. We'll see you soon. Bye.